Hi, I'm Jill.
And I'm John.
And we're the Geezers on the Go. In this episode, we're at Ross Prairie Trailhead and Campground in Denellen, Florida. It's part of the Ross Prairie State Forest and adjacent to the Cross Florida Greenway. Ross Prairie is a small state park, perfect for sneaking into Florida when everything else seems full. It's got 14 miles of its own trails, plus it ties into a series of trails that crisscross the state. It's a true trailhead park. And no, we didn't see any bears, thank goodness. But we did see lots of horses. This is a prime equestrian territory. We're here at Ross Prairie Trailhead State Park. It's in Denellen, Florida, kind of near Ocala. It's kind of a little different campground. All the sites are pull-throughs. There's only 16 sites. We're in number 13. And we give you a pretty good space here. A little breezy today. We just had a big storm last night. Temperature's supposed to drop from mid-70s down to 30, so we'll see. But as you can tell from the tires over here, they're all dirty. But there's good space here with the, like I said, pull through. The only weird thing here is the gravel. It's not gravel, it's crushed shells. And whoever thought to do this, I want to smack him in the head because they stick into everything. They're little sharp pieces and I don't like them, so I'll have to complain about that. So we'll take a little walk around and see what we get to see. As I was saying before about the surface here at this campground, as you can see there's lots of little shells, and boy, they're a big pain. Everything gets stuck in your shoes, and if you're bare feet, ouch. So I'm not sure why they did this, but they did. Thought it probably was a cheap way to surface the campsites. It's slightly surprising that the campground is not very full, since it only has 16 sites and we're in mid-March for all the snowbirds. This park doesn't seem to get a lot of use, although a lot of the people here are from out of state. But I think it's not a well-known place, and it's not a whole lot to do around here, but we'll find something. It's a big horsey area. This park does have equestrian trails. We'll check them out. A little bit of road noise because there's a highway right off of here, Highway 200. Hear a motorcycle going by. But it's just one big loop. I would say one other slight drawback to this park: there's not a lot of trees unless you have one of the sites right next to the nature trails over there, and there are some trees. The other thing is that the bathroom is way up there on the hill where that yellowish building is, so a bit of a trek to the bathroom, although it's a very nice bathroom, but it's a little bit of a walk. I don't normally show you the bathroom. This bathroom here at Ross Prairie is something. It's got gigantic tiles. Looks like they just redid the whole thing. And huge. This is the ladies' room. Huge rooms. Big bathrooms. And two big shower areas. Look at, yikes. And here's a little overview of the park. You can see just about the whole thing. One sweep across the campground. Like I said, not very big, about 16 sites, and 2 of them are hosts, and not crowded for a Saturday. A little surprised, but then we're off the little beaten path, I think, and this is more of maybe a stopover place, or you couldn't get into Rainbow Springs down the road. But this is a part of Florida most people don't really think about. They think of Florida as beaches and sand, and although there is sand here, we're in the woods and just about in the middle of the state. This guy has an interesting thing. He has cats, and he has this little house that he puts them in, and there's a little tube that comes out from underneath. The cats aren't out right now, but it's interesting. Cats can go in and out. Here, now you can see the cat in its little house outside this trailer. Pretty cool. Probably this couple of better sites are the ones right here along the fence. This is site number 2. And then it goes all the way around and sort of goes towards the trails. Lots of space here right next to where the horse parking is. This one over here is number 3. This is pretty good too because it's right next to where the trails are. Lots of trees. And then the last one down here, number 4, it's pretty good too because it lines up with the trees, and as you can see, it's another all pull-throughs. When we came in our site, the camp host told us that, oh, don't worry, you can move the picnic table if you felt like it. Well, ours was in a pretty good spot, but he says, but please don't move the fire pit. Well, I'm not exactly sure you could move that fire pit. It's dug into the ground, but we'll try not to. We'll be good campers and not move the fire pit. There is a little warning here as you go out to the trails that you could encounter a bear, and it gives you little instructions, and it says, do not play dead or climb a tree or run. Just sort of wave your arms around and try to scare them. Okay, I'll try. You could have a great little walk back here. Probably even in this when it's warm, it'd be good because there's lots of shade. Right now it's cooling down, but great for a little exercise and hear the birds. I just hope you don't find any bears because they said there could be bears back here. Say the Ross Prairie Trail System. And this would be some beautiful trail to come horseback riding. And then after your day was done, you could come back there. There's a picnic table over there. You could probably tie up your horse, or just after a hard day of walking. There's another part of their main hiking trail. I think this one, somebody said it's about 1.5 miles. And a lot of people use this for both hiking and biking. And there's some trail maps there to kind of let you know we're actually in the Ross Prairie State Forest here. And they call this the Trailhead Park. And it looks like you could have some fun walking through all these trees. Got lots of cool trails back here. I'm on the blue one, trying to ride my bike through here, but it's a little tough. But found out most of these trails are interconnecting. It could actually go back across the state, part of a big great green beltway that was developed. It's like almost 300 miles long, and actually connects to one of the other state parks, Rodman, where we camped a few weeks ago. Oh, cool thing back here, you see some interesting tree formations. It must be all shaded in the summertime. Lots of Spanish moss. This is such a horse-crazy community. There are snubbing posts at every campsite, and the campground allows portable stalls. And they have a great hitching post over here, and they even have a few little, somebody left some extra hose here to wash down the horses, which is always nice. I'm sure it gets very hot here. And then you go out over to this way, and you have horse trails. Well, it looks like there's more than one trail. That looks like it's a people trail because the sign, although it's broken, says no horses beyond this point. And I guess the horses, you can go riding anywhere out here. A couple big open areas. And then you can go out here to the trails into the trees. Here's one of the other starting points for your horses. You can park your trailer down over there if you want it. Bring your horse up here. They have a watering area. Again, another area for rinsing off your horse. Picnic tables. Hitching posts. And then you just come down and come right down there to the trails. If you didn't own a horse and you came into this area, you might be wondering why is there steps in the middle here? Well, usually if you have trouble getting up on your horse, you go walk the horse up to the side, go up the steps, and then you're up a little higher to get up on the horse.
Oh yeah, those good old stairs to nowhere, Jill. But they sure are a lifesaver when you're getting a little older.
Right. I miss my horses, and this was a really cool place to ride your horses. But if we still had our horses, we wouldn't be able to go on all the places that we do now because they're a lot of work.
And we do like to get around, you know. We went to found a really, even though we're in the middle of nowhere, sort of. We found a really cool little restaurant called Swampy's. We found Rainbow Springs State Park, which is where we originally wanted to stay, but we couldn't get in.
Couldn't get in. It was all too crowded. We couldn't even check it out because you have to get in with a passcode, and we couldn't get in. So we just instead went to the other part of the park where you could go put your feet in the water, go kayaking. It was a kind of a cool place.
Yeah, I would go back there again, definitely. If we do go back, I'd like to try to get into that park. But
before we go out to Rainbow Springs, let's check out Shangri-La State Park. It's just down the road, and it was quite a nice park.
Yep, let's go.
Okay.
Shangri-La is also a trailhead state park that caters to horses. With 24 pull-through sites, it's about 5 miles from Ross Prairie. It's a real pretty little park. The drawback is that it's all primitive. There's no hookups anywhere, no pavement.
There's some big rigs here.
Yeah, well, there are people set up for, obviously set up for off-the-grid camping, for boondocking and such. Have your generator, your solar panels.
There's a lot of horse trailers, and there's some people there with their horses right in the middle of the campsite. So another place where you could bring your horses if you're in this area. Ocala is a big horse area. Lots of horses here.
No tour of the area is complete without some fine dining, even if it is called Swampy's. We went for the al fresco dining on the veranda. Some catfish and a few gator bits, some drinks, of course, and a quiet evening watching the boats go by.
The next day we headed for Rainbow Springs State Park, where the water averages 72 degrees year-round. And there's the springs. We're about, maybe 15 miles from our campground. But we figured we were this close, we had to come see it, despite the high price of gas. This is the part of the end in here in the Rainbow Springs. You can rent kayaks, canoes, and then go right down into the water. And you see the people going by. The water here is like the Caribbean. We walked a little ways from the visitor center down to the bottom and walked across this little bridge, and as you see how clear blue this water is, and you can see right down into everything. We found a nice little spot on the other side of this walkway to sit and enjoy the day and have some lunch. I think there's a log jam here. It's a traffic jam on Rainbow Springs River here. But he's getting ready to go out into the downstream to about where we went to eat the other night. Well, at one time there was a waterfalls here that was built in 1937 as part of an attraction in this park. But there's no water coming down now. But finally found some waterfalls sort of on the other side of the park from where we came in. And they built some little walkways over it. There we go.
Rainbow Springs is one of those places that keeps calling you back. But that's the thing about traveling. Eventually, you always have to pack up and move on. Glad you could join us this time around. Let's do this again real soon. As always, we'll see you downriver.
Stop, stop, stop!